Kamala Harris pulls another flip flop, the second one today. Now, I don't really think it's a flip flop. I think it's outright lies about where she stands on her policies because it's so unpopular. She has to lie about it. I don't think it's really I don't really think it's a flip flop. So we're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from the Red State's Brandon Morse. He reports that in keeping with the Harris campaign's habit of not knowing what it believes, a new flip-flop from Kamala Harris has hit the inboxes. According to Amber Duke of The Spectator, the Harris campaign is now saying that she doesn't support the electric vehicle mandate, which we know is a lie. She was a co-sponsor of the Green New Deal. She's a big proponent of this, but she's outright lying and saying that she's not for that. We know that she want to ban electric cars in the future. She said it before. But as you may be aware, the EV mandate was a Biden-Harris administration pet project. The mandate revolved around forcing auto companies to rapidly create enough EVs without any guarantee of purchase, causing a huge lack of funds for the automobile industry that could cost jobs. It was a horribly thought out and planned mandate that eventually Biden walked back and was later kneecapped by the CARS Act. This mandate was the Biden-Harris administration attempt to slap their name on one of the biggest pushes for a more so-called green society, but due to their lack of knowledge about how economics work, it ended up being a disaster. It didn't seem like anyone in this administration, Biden, Harris, anyone in this administration has know anything about economics. I mean, she's trying to push price controls and all these other things. Everything that they're doing is hurting the economy. Everything that they're doing is hurting the average American. But it's not exactly something Harris wants to put her name on during the campaign. However, and stop me if you've heard this one before, her name already is on something very similar, right? As Duke points out, the Zero Emissions Vehicle Act of 2019 was co-sponsored by Kamala Harris when she was a senator back in California. So she can't run from this. She's for these terrible policies. But Amber Duke said the Harris campaign is now claiming that she doesn't support the EV mandate. When she was a senator, Harris co-sponsored the Zero Emissions Vehicle Act of 2019, which contained a requirement for car manufacturers to sell only zero-emission vehicles by 2040. Now, you think the mainstream media is going to question her on this flip-flop? I doubt it. This is another reason why she doesn't go on interviews or do anything, because she would have to speak to this. Instead, she have people put out these things saying that, oh, she's not for this, but we don't really hear it from her saying this. In fact, Harris has been a huge proponent of putting EVs on the road, especially school buses. I remember this. Back in July, the Washington Free Beacon reported that Harris' billion-dollar effort to get thousands of electric buses rolled out across the nation ended up being yet another green energy clown show. Remember when she talked about EV buses? I mean, when she was trying to explain it, she came off as not knowing looking like she not knowing what she was talking about. I wish they had that clip of that here. But it says, as part of the first tranche of Clean School Bus Program funding 2 years ago, Harris and EP Administrator Michael Reagan unleashed nearly $1 billion in federal rebates for 389 school districts across all 50 states to help deliver a total of 2,463 electric school buses. According to federal data reviewed by the Washington Free Beacon, just 27 of those districts have proven to the EPA that their buses were delivered, and their diesel-fueled buses being replaced have been discarded. Collectively, those districts have deployed a total of 6 battery, electric, or low emissions propane fuel school buses. Now, after getting this 50 billions we put, it's similar to when we put they spent billions upon billions of dollars. I think it was like $23 billion to create EV chargers, and only what 7 or 8 of them was actually built in the last 2 years. Like this is Harris. This is Harris. They can't get anything done, even their own policies that they're trying to push. And 55 additional districts have pulled out of the program, according to the federal data shared with the Free Beacon, citing a variety of technological and infrastructure concerns. We don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the technology for it. These are one of the drawbacks of EVs. But in other words, more school districts have withdrawn from the program than proven that they have completed it. So, Kamala Harris went from being an EV warrior to someone who isn't about to push this nonsense she's been pushing relentlessly during an election season. It's too politically risky, as, quote, I keep trying to push failed attempts to push enviro wackadoism that could potentially put Americans out of work. Doesn't exactly sell well. But don't think she's done with this nonsense. She's not. She's just hiding her real, true intentions. Not even for a moment. She doesn't support it now, but if she were to win in November, you can bet your bottom dollar that she'd be back on the idea that she can create an America that rolls strictly on EVs, economy and logistics be damned. And I just did a video yesterday about this whole EV push is really to give more power to China, because China produces the batteries, they produces the lithium ions and all that stuff. So we will be dependent on China, which is what they want. This goes to show that this administration, the Biden-Harris administration, is really controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.